With session one coming to an end of the 12-week weight loss and wellness program, I've been sitting down to interview clients about what their experiences were, where we can improve, things that they liked. And today I got to sit down and interview Linda and George about their experience going through the program. So here it is.
For me, it's going well, and I would definitely recommend it. It's allowed me to see just what my diet looks like each week and then make changes. So it's allowed me to get more consistent with getting a more balanced plate. And I've lost weight.
Nice. Tell me about like what your experience was with the program.
I thought the program was really well. It keeps you on track. There's times you fall off, but the program definitely gets you back on track and you feel healthy, especially when you're playing sports. You could feel the difference prior, and now you feel like 120% stronger.
What changes do you think you guys made?
Uh, my changes really is knowing what I'm eating and being aware of it.
Mhm.
That really helps.
My changes are that I tried to get all the healthy components on my plate. So I tried to get an intact whole grain, some leafy greens, some non-starchy vegetables, and some protein on my plate more consistently. And then it was good that we met once a week because then it 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 forced me to recommit to my goals every week, and
Mhm.
that really made a difference. Just
Yeah.
recommitting and being on track every week.
Just a reminder that every week, yeah, that it's important that we're focusing on something else. Did the week feel too short? Like 1 week to work on a very pointed goal, did you like burn a little bit of like a fire under you to really focus on that goal versus having the idea of like having a goal that you're like, okay, I'm going to get this done, but I don't have a timeline for it. Like, did setting that weekly timeline really help?
For me, it did, for sure, for sure. Sometimes it felt like, oh my gosh, we're already at the end of the week, and how did I do? And maybe I need a little more time to be successful on this goal.
And I think that's the hardest thing is that like there's no like on or off in terms of like there's nothing that's off limits. And so just it depends on how far people are from their goal. So you guys have sustained weight loss and a healthy dietary pattern while meeting friends and like going out on weekends and having some like higher calorie density foods, but you've been able to do it in a way that you're not like necessarily binging on those foods. And I think that that is huge because I think that a lot of the times there's the on the path, off the path kind of idea of we're on the diet. And so when we go off the diet, what the hell? We might as well just like have the cookies and the ice cream and all of the other things because we're getting back to it. And you guys have taken a much more balanced approach.
Yeah, but one thing about the program, once you do that, you can feel the difference and you want to go
Mhm.
back.
Yeah. And will you tell me a little bit about your potato chips?
Oh, I love potato chips. I used to have, like a handful or maybe two handfuls every day.
Yeah.
And then I stopped doing it, eating healthy. And now when I eat the potato chips, you could taste, like the grease in there or whatever. But yeah, it doesn't taste good anymore.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how filling they are because a lot of the times people think that they're eating this as a filler, like they're hungry and they're eating it. But the difference between eating like actually filling foods and then having the potato chips, for me, I feel like I do stuff like that. Like I have a bite of candy every once in a while, and I'm like, oh, this is just extra calories because I don't actually feel any fuller afterwards.
If I do have some, my serving size went from eating directly out of the bag to getting a very small bowl and putting a few in the small bowl and knowing that that's just a treat that I'm going to have, as
Mhm.
opposed to just, like you said, binging on them.
Yeah, so like a way more informed decision of like deciding to include them, but knowing that, you're going to be a little bit more aware of of how much you include. Yeah. You did half the program without weight loss medication, and you lost weight during that point in time, and then you started weight loss medication about halfway through. And I'm just curious about what the difference was. Like you were losing weight both ways, like without medication and with medication, and the medication really is just speeding it up. But what's your experience like? Like, how would you contrast it with and without the medication?
Um, Without the medication, it probably was helping me build more skills without the medication
Mhm.
because I needed to feel full and I was able to feel full um, as long as I made that balanced plate.
That's really insightful.
Um,
Yeah, because now with the medication, you have the option of choosing maybe more calorie dense options and still feeling that level of fullness. How does this compare to like your experience with other commercial diet programs? Because you've done Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and other type of really like portion control diets. What's different about this? Like, why are you succeeding where you weren't necessarily in the past?
I think there's a couple of reasons. One is just sustainable. So, you know, you can make these choices every day. And this feels like kind of the cliche that's out there that you can really learn how to eat this way and you can have long-term success. And that's what it feels like. You know,
Hmm.
opposed to a Jenny Craig, which is eat the food for so many weeks and then you know go off of it.
Hmm.
What will you do? You put back on the weight.
Hmm.
I don't This just feels more sustainable.
So this is the first time you've actually had to change the foods that you're looking at,
Yeah,
right? Because with the other programs, you were just trying to eat less of the same foods, which if those made you feel full, right, you wouldn't gain weight eating them. So it's instead of being really restrictive, you're actually having to change the foods. And I think you're eating more. Like before you started the weight loss medication, it looked like your portions were getting bigger in a good way. Like you were having more low calorie foods. Do you remember how you were eating and how you looked at food when you had prediabetes?
Jess, I felt so crappy back then.
Yeah.
And before I just got COVID recently,
Mhm.
I told them I feel like 120%. I mean,
Mhm.
like very strong. And then the COVID came and it got
Mhm.
me. And it's like starting all over again. But
Mhm.
that's why I'm like watching, I gotta, eat healthy because I want to get back to that 120%.
Yeah, feeling
Right.
so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see in my weightlifting,
Mhm.
you know, before, I could do 5 with the 10 pounds easy.
Yeah, for
Now,
pull-ups.
yeah. Now after COVID,
Mhm.
2.
You
So
lose muscle mass from being in bed and not even being in bed, but just not being able to do activity.
yeah, so I'm looking
It makes
forward,
a big
for
difference.
all that vegetables to kick in and make they
Yeah,
make me stronger.
that
Yeah,
is that is too funny. So that's it. I hope you liked the interview. If you still have questions about the Lifestyle Medicine Maine 12-week programs, or you're interested in joining us for the next session, then schedule a free consult. You can do so through my website, and you have full access to my calendar. So you can pick a time and a date that works for you. Session 2 begins on April 7th, meeting on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Love to see you there. Sign up for a free consult if you have questions, and I would love to get to know you.